In Aesop's fable called A Boy Bathing, a young boy goes down to the river to bathe, but quickly finds himself in water that's over his head. And the boy is in great danger of being drowned. Now, as he's there in the water, struggling to keep his head above water, a man passes by on the road and sees the boy trying to remain afloat. The man walks down to the riverbank, and he proceeded to scold the boy for being so foolish as to go out into water over his head. The young boy responded, "Oh, sir, please help me first and scold me afterwards." This story reminded me of Peter's walking on water to Jesus in Matthew 14:25-33. As he began to walk, he noticed the mighty wind around him, and he began to sink. And Peter cried out for the Lord to help him. And what did Jesus do? Did he scold Peter while Peter was in the middle of drowning? No, the text says that Jesus reached down, caught Peter, and then said, "Oh, you have little faith. Why did you doubt?" Matthew 14, verse 31. And I believe that we learn a valuable lesson here. It does little good to stand back and scold someone for their sin if we aren't willing to reach out and we aren't reaching out a hand to help them. Would you shake your head and chide a drowning person for being foolish? Or would you do everything in your power to save their life? After they were saved from drowning, then you would say to them, "What were you thinking?" In Galatians 6, verse 1, Paul wrote, "Brethren, if a man is overtaken in any trespass, you who are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness, considering yourself, lest you also be tempted." Restoring a fallen child of God does not merely involve standing to the side and scolding them for having fallen into sin. Restoring that person also includes reaching out to pull them out of the trap that they've fallen into. In fact, reaching out to them should happen first. When the Pharisees complained that Jesus was eating with and teaching sinners in Luke 15, verse 1-2, Jesus responded with 3 parables. Now, the first 2 of those parables demonstrated the importance of going after and finding those who are lost. The last parable, the parable of the prodigal son, showed the failure of the older brother to search for his lost brother. He spoke against all his brother had done. He, in a sense, scolded his brother, but he hadn't put forth the effort to bring him home. As Christians, it does little good to scold a person drowning in sin if we won't reach out our hand to pull them from Satan's trap. I appreciate you watching and listening to this episode of Centered on Christ.
Centered on Christ is emailed as an article 5 days a week. Click the link in the description if you want to start receiving Centered on Christ to help with your daily Bible study.